Before the sun rises over the Pacific, wooden canoes are already moving across the water. Fishermen leave small coastal villages in search of the day's catch, while on another island, children begin their journey to school. Some walking through the forest, others crossing the sea by boat. By morning, village markets are filling with fresh fish, coconuts, fruit, and vegetables grown by local families. Hundreds of kilometers away, Honiara is waking to a completely different rhythm. As buses crowd the streets, shops open their doors, and thousands of people head to work. Here, the ocean isn't simply something people live beside. It determines how they travel, what they eat, how they earn money, and sometimes even whether they can reach the next village. This is the Solomon Islands, a nation scattered across hundreds of islands where modern city life exists alongside remote communities still deeply connected to the land, the sea, and traditions passed down through generations. And behind the tropical landscapes is a way of life far more fascinating than most outsiders ever get to see. To understand life in the Solomon Islands, you must first understand the concept of family. Here, the family is not a small unit confined to a single house. It is a sprawling, interconnected web of aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents, often living together in a shared space. Homes, often simple structures of timber and woven sago palm leaves, are clustered together without fences. A child does not belong to just two parents. They are raised by the entire village. If they are hungry, a neighbor will feed them. If they are in trouble, any elder has the right to correct them. This collective identity is the shield that has helped Solomon Islanders endure every hardship. It is formalized in the one-talk system, a concept that shapes all of society. Derived from the English words one talk, it refers to the deep, unbreakable bond between people who speak the same language and come from the same clan or island. Your one talk are your people. They are your social security system, your bank, and your emotional support network, all woven into one. If a man from a remote island arrives in Honiara seeking work, he will find his one talk, and they will take him in and help him, even if they have never met. This obligation is sacred. In the capital, this same system is both a lifeline and a source of immense pressure. Here, life is governed by the clock and the need for cash. A person with a steady job may be expected to support a dozen relatives. Their home becomes a transit point for a constant stream of one-talk seeking opportunity or medical care. The communal spirit of the village is tested by the anonymity of the city. From the moment the sun rises, the two Solomon Islands are already awake. The village, rooted in the land, and the collective, and the city, striving for a place in a world of cash and schedules. There is no single way to live in the Solomon Islands. The geography of this nation is the single greatest force shaping everyday life. The islands are not clustered together. They are flung like stones across 1.5 million square kilometers of the Pacific Ocean. This immense liquid continent creates a profound sense of isolation, not just from the outside world, but between communities within the country itself. For most people, travel means a boat. The simple dugout canoe is the family car, used for fishing just beyond the reef. The banana boat, a long, fiberglass vessel powered by a precious and expensive outboard motor, is the village bus, connecting communities along the coast. A journey of just 20 kilometers can take over an hour and consume a significant portion of a family's weekly income in fuel. For longer distances, people rely on the slow, aging ferries that are the nation's lifeline. A trip from the provincial capital of Gizo to Honiara can take more than 24 hours. These ships are floating communities, often crowded with families sleeping on the deck on woven mats. They are the vital arteries that carry people, produce, and essential supplies between the provinces and the capital. The arrival of a ferry at the wharf in Honiara is organized chaos. A flood of passengers disembarks, carrying sleeping mats, woven baskets of food, and live chickens. On the dock, families are reunited in emotional embraces. At the same time, cargo is being unloaded by hand, everything from bags of cement to crates of soft drinks. This reality dictates everything. A sick person may face a long journey to reach a hospital. A student attending high school on a different island might only see their family twice a year. A simple bag of rice can cost double in a remote village what it costs in Honiara, the price inflated by the effort of transportation. The ocean is not scenery here. It is the road, the barrier, and the provider. It connects everyone, but it also keeps them apart. The day unfolds to two different rhythms, one set by the sun and the other by the clock. Before sunrise, the fisherman is already on the water. In the village, the first cooking fires are lit. As the morning sun climbs, the heat builds. In a village school, children sit at wooden desks in an open-air classroom. In a garden carved from a steep, muddy hill, a woman harvests taro. At the bustling central market in Honiara, the day's freshest fish is sold out by 9 a.m. Banana boats arrive at the beach, unloading produce from villages along the coast. By midday, the heat becomes intense. Life slows. In a village, people retreat to the shade beneath their homes, which are built on stilts. This is a time for rest, for mending nets, for quiet conversation. In Honiara, office workers take their lunch break, seeking the relief of an air-conditioned shop. In the afternoon, the heat begins to break. A breeze picks up from the sea. Children, their school day finished, run shouting into the cool water of the lagoon. The fisherman returns, poling his canoe through the shallows. His family comes to meet him, to assess the day's catch. In the city, the afternoon traffic begins to build as people start their journey home on crowded minibuses. As the sun dips towards the horizon, life draws inward. In the village, the scent of wood smoke fills the air. A single solar-powered bulb casts a warm glow inside a home as children do their homework. As darkness falls, a deep darkness unbroken by city lights, the village becomes a world of sound. The lapping of waves, the chirping of crickets, the murmur of voices as an elder tells a story. In Honiara, the city remains alive with light and sound. In a single day, the Solomon Islands reveals its dual realities, a life of quiet, natural rhythms, and another of modern, man-made schedules. To truly understand the heart of the Solomon Islands, you must leave the city behind. More than 3/4 of the population still lives in rural villages, their lives deeply intertwined with the land and the sea. A village is more than a collection of houses. It is a living organism. Homes, often made from traditional materials like sago palm leaves and bamboo, are built close together. Life is fundamentally communal. The most important work, building a new house, clearing a new garden, or preparing for a feast, is done together. The foundation of survival is the garden. On the steep hillsides behind the village, families cultivate their food. These are not neat rows of crops, but a chaotic, multi-layered system of agroforestry perfected over centuries. Taro, cassava, sweet potatoes, and yams grow in the shade of banana trees and breadfruit. This is a family's food security, their buffer against the high cost of imported goods. The other source of life is the ocean. From a young age, children learn to read the water, to understand the currents and tides. The sea provides the daily protein for the family. A successful catch is never hoarded. It is shared, reinforcing the bonds of community. But this life is not a romantic paradise. It is a life of constant work. Access to basic services is a daily struggle. The nearest clinic might be a 2-hour boat ride away, an impossible journey in rough weather. The village school may only go up to grade 6, forcing families to make difficult choices about their children's future. Electricity is a rare luxury, often from a small solar panel, enough to power a single light bulb and charge a phone. Water often comes from a single pipe, fed by a spring in the hills. Life here is a delicate balance. It is a life of immense richness in community and self-sufficiency, but one of profound scarcity in modern infrastructure. It is a life of breathtaking beauty and immense challenge. Honiara is a city of magnets. It pulls people in with the promise of everything the village cannot offer: the possibility of a wage-paying job, access to higher education, specialized healthcare, and a connection to the outside world. It is the political and economic heart of the nation, and its pulse beats to a frantic, modern rhythm. The streets are a testament to this migration. You can hear dozens of the nation's 70-plus languages spoken at the market. For a young person arriving from a remote island, the experience can be a profound shock. They may have grown up in a world where food comes from the garden. Here, everything must be bought with cash. They may have lived in a community where everyone knows their name. Here, they can be completely anonymous. The dream is a steady job, in a government office, a hotel, or a construction company. But formal employment is scarce. For every person who finds a stable job, many more end up in the informal economy, selling betel nut on the roadside or driving a minibus taxi. This influx of people has put immense strain on the city. Housing is expensive and often substandard. Informal settlements, with limited access to clean water, cling to the hillsides surrounding the city center, but not everyone is drawn to the city's light. For many, Honiara is a place to visit, but never to live. They prefer the peace of the village, the deep connection to their ancestral land, and the unwavering strength of their community. They measure wealth not in dollars, but in the health of their gardens and the strength of their family ties. This is the central tension of the modern Solomon Islands, a constant negotiation between the pull of tradition and the push of economic necessity. The culture of the Solomon Islands is not something found in a museum. It is lived, breathed, and sung every day. It is a complex blend of ancient custom, the traditional ways of life, belief, and governance, and a deep, abiding Christian faith that has become the cornerstone of modern society. On any given Sunday, the church is the heart of the village. It is a place of worship, but also the main social gathering and a source of immense comfort. Alongside the church, custom remains a powerful force. It governs land ownership, which is passed down through clans and cannot be bought or sold. The land belongs to the ancestors, and the living are merely its custodians. Custom dictates social relationships, including the payment of bride price for marriage. This is not the buying of a wife, but a complex, formal exchange of traditional wealth, like shell money or pigs, that binds two families together, creating a new web of mutual obligation. This is a land of almost unbelievable diversity. Over 70 distinct languages are spoken here. A person's identity is tied first to their family, then their clan, their island, and only then to the nation. Traditions vary dramatically from one province to another. In the Western Province, intricate carvings are a renowned art form. In Malaita, the traditional currency of shell money is still painstakingly made and used in important ceremonies. These traditions are passed down not through books, but through stories told by elders and the simple act of living together. It is a culture that is constantly adapting, finding ways to incorporate new ideas without losing its connection to the past. For the vast majority of Solomon Islanders in rural areas, the economy is a hybrid of subsistence and cash. The garden and the sea provide daily food, reducing the need for money. But cash is still absolutely essential. It is needed for school fees, a major expense for every family. It is needed for fuel, for the boat's outboard motor. It is needed for essential store-bought goods like rice, sugar, salt, and soap. And it is needed for mobile phone credit, a vital link to family. This cash comes from a few key sources. The main agricultural exports are cocoa, coconuts, dried to make copra, and palm oil. Families sell their produce to local buyers, their income dependent on the volatile prices of the global market. A drop in the price of cocoa in London can have a devastating impact on a family's ability to send their children to school. Forestry is another major industry, but it is often controversial, pitting the need for cash against the desire to protect ancestral lands. In the towns and Honiara, the formal economy offers wages. A shop assistant might earn the minimum wage, often not enough to support a family in the city with its high cost of rent and food. A government job is highly sought after for its stability. Managing a household budget requires immense skill. A family's income might be a patchwork of sources, a small amount from selling vegetables at the market, another from a relative in the city, the annual sale of their cocoa harvest, and the food they grow themselves. Every dollar is carefully weighed. It is a life lived with a thin safety net, where a single medical emergency or a broken outboard motor can plunge a family into crisis. To understand the soul of the Solomon Islands, you must understand its food. It tells a story of self-reliance, community, and the deep connection between people and their environment. The foundation of almost every meal is a root crop, or kai-kai. Taro, cassava, or the ubiquitous sweet potato are boiled, roasted, or pounded into a thick pudding. The flavor and richness come from the coconut. Its milk is used to enrich sauces and to gently cook fish and vegetables. The protein comes almost daily from the sea. Fresh fish, grilled over an open fire, is a daily staple. On special occasions, a pig will be cooked in a motu, a traditional earth oven. A pit is dug, filled with stones, and heated in a fire for hours. The pig and vegetables are wrapped in large banana leaves, placed on the hot stones and covered with earth to cook slowly. This is not just cooking, it is a communal act. Preparing for a feast involves the entire village. The meal is a celebration of togetherness, reinforcing the bonds that hold the community together. In the city, the diet is changing. Imported white rice is often cheaper and easier than traditional root crops. Canned tuna and instant noodles are staples. But even in Honiara, on weekends, families will seek out fresh fish and vegetables from the market. A taste of the village, a taste of home. In the Solomon Islands, you are never far from the sea. It is the dominant feature of the landscape, the source of life, and a constant, powerful presence. The ocean dictates the rhythm of the day. Fishermen leave according to the tides, not the clock. The reef is a family's fishing ground, a carefully managed resource passed down through generations. It provides not just fish, but shellfish, octopus, and seaweed. It is a living pantry. The sea is also the highway. The arrival of the weekly ferry is a major event in a remote community, but the ocean is not always benevolent. A sudden storm can turn the sea from a calm highway into a terrifying wall of churning waves, cutting a village off for days. Rough seas can prevent fishermen from going out, threatening the food supply. The relationship with the ocean is one of deep ancestral respect and practical caution. It is a force that gives, but it is also a force that can take away. For the people who live on these shores, it is not a place for recreation. It is the center of their world. A new generation is coming of age in the Solomon Islands, navigating a world their parents could have barely imagined. They are a generation of the in-between, caught between the traditions of the village and the pull of a globalized digital culture. The smartphone is the symbol of this change. Even in remote villages, where a phone must be charged using a small solar panel, it is a prized possession. It is a connection to the outside world and a way to stay in touch with family. Social media platforms like Facebook are incredibly popular, creating virtual communities that transcend physical isolation. This exposure is creating new aspirations. Many young people dream of careers as doctors, teachers, or entrepreneurs. They see education as the key to a different life. The University of the South Pacific campus in Honiara is a hub of ambition, but this creates a difficult choice. To pursue these dreams almost always means leaving home, leaving the village, and leaving behind the one-talk support system. It can mean a life in the city, struggling to pay rent, feeling disconnected from the land that defines their identity. Many young people are finding creative ways to bridge these two worlds. They are not simply abandoning tradition. They are finding new ways to define what it means to be a Solomon Islander in the 21st century. In the Solomon Islands, nature is not a backdrop for life. It is an active, powerful participant in the story of every day. The rainforests that cover the islands are the source of building materials, traditional medicines, and a habitat for birds and animals. The rivers provide fresh water. The vast coral reefs are not just beautiful. They are a critical barrier that protects the coast from the ocean waves, and they are the breeding grounds for the fish that sustain the villages. But this environment can also be unforgiving. The country lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, and earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are a constant threat. The tropical climate brings a cyclone season every year, with powerful storms that can destroy homes and gardens in a matter of hours. And now, a new threat is emerging. Climate change and rising sea levels are an existential crisis for this low-lying island nation. Coastlines are eroding, and saltwater is contaminating freshwater sources. For some communities, living just meters above sea level, the question is not if they will have to move, but when. It is a profound challenge for a people who have contributed almost nothing to the causes of global warming, but who are on the front lines of its consequences. Life in the Solomon Islands is a life of constant adaptation. For those in remote communities, the tyranny of distance defines everything. Access to quality healthcare is perhaps the greatest hurdle. A serious illness can become a life or death emergency, dependent on a long and expensive boat journey. Educational opportunities are limited, forcing families to separate if they want their children to have a chance at a secondary education. The infrastructure that many in the world take for granted is scarce. Paved roads are few, reliable electricity is a luxury, and access to clean water is not guaranteed. The reliance on imported goods, from fuel to rice, makes the cost of living punishingly high. In Honiara, the challenges are different, but no less acute. Rapid urban growth has outpaced the city's ability to provide services, leading to overcrowded housing and unemployment. And over everything hangs the larger threats of a changing climate. More intense cyclones and the slow rise of the sea are not abstract concepts here. They are visible realities. Yet to focus only on the hardships is to miss the most important part of the story. It is to miss the resilience and ingenuity of the people. They are not passive victims. They are survivors and masters of adaptation who continue to build meaningful lives with what they have, held together by the unwavering strength of their communities. With all the challenges, the isolation, the lack of services, the high cost of living, the question remains, why do people stay? Why do they choose to build their lives on these remote and demanding islands? The answer is not about economics or convenience. It is about something deeper, something that cannot be measured in dollars. It is the land. The land that has been passed down through generations, where their ancestors are buried. The land is not a commodity. It is the source of identity. To leave the land is to lose a part of your soul. It is the community. It is knowing that if your house burns down, your neighbors will help you rebuild it. It is the comfort of the Wantok system, the knowledge that you will always be cared for, that you will never face life's greatest challenges alone. It is the ocean, the freedom of the open water, the rhythm of the tides, the provider of life. It is a part of who they are. People stay because this is home. It is more than just a place on a map. It is the source of their stories, their language, their strength, and their profound sense of belonging. In a world that is constantly rushing forward, a world of noise and individualism, the Solomon Islands remain a place where life is still built on the most essential, most human things: the land, the sea, and each other. Across nearly 1,000 islands, a nation is settling in for the night. A life connected and separated by the Great Pacific Ocean. A life of profound challenge and profound, resilient beauty. A quiet, dignified testament to the enduring power of family, community, and the meaning of home.